Okay. Christian, you deal with a lot of plastic bottles in your business. I believe in your business alone you generate about 3 million a month, and in the soft drinks business it's about 100 million bottles a month. I think that's the figure you gave me. What happens to all these bottles at the end of the month?
Well, quite a bit of it is exported, so that we don't have that problem on a regular basis. It goes out. But a number of other bottles, such as the energy drinks and stuff like that, are all in plastic, and they are imported. So we have a balancing out here, or a netting out of a considerable volume of plastic bottles in the waterways or in our dumps. But there's been a lot of talk about recycling, and I don't think that we have gone deeply enough into it to understand that just bringing back a bottle doesn't then give an opportunity to anyone until it is properly prepared. And by saying properly prepared, we have to wash the product, we have to grind it, we have to repelletize it before it can now be reused. And then there's a big problem of reuse in food and drug applications. You can't unless it is completely contaminant free. So that is another big aspect of the recycling program.
So you're actually saying to me that every month about 50 million plastic bottles end up in the dump and they're just gathering there? I mean,
yes.
And
they're there, and they're going to stay there because they do not decompose. And the irony of it is that I have just recently installed equipment that can reuse some of this material, but I can't get it because there's nothing in place, no system in place to be able to bring it back to me to be able to be used.
Very, very quickly, Ricardo, I know that you're part of the first stage of recycling, the bins. Tell us, how do your bins work?
Well, first of all, I went into the bins basically because I realized that, as Chris just said, the biggest problem is actually collection of the waste from my experience. And the bins that we have and what we offer to the market, and it being different in that it offers, one, it's an attractive product. It makes you stop and look because it has the advertising and stuff on it and instructions and on what the program is about, and particularly the lids on the product that we provide. Each lid is designed to accept the particular type of material, which is very helpful for recycling because we need to separate these waste streams at the point and source.
So you just have a slit for newspapers, you have a
round hole of a certain size for collection of bottles and stuff. It may take up a 1-liter size bottle, whether it's in parks or where. So the lids and stuff is what really controls and streams out the different waste types. Someone can't go and put a food box in one of our bins unless they mash it up and really make an effort, which we don't think people would do. They would use what is available.
So that's where we want to get, where every household has a wheelie bin like they have in England, and we all sort our rubbish out right at that first stage. I want to talk more about that. We'll take a short break. As you watch, I want to remind you to send in your comments and suggestions to cleaningupthemess@guardian.co.tt. This is an environmental special on CNC3. We'll be right back. Welcome back to this environmental series on CNC3. My guests today are Christian Cannell, Managing Director of Resin Converters Limited, Ricardo Gay, the Managing Director of Technical Systems Limited, and Richard Tang, Management Consultant. Richard, this one's for you. You've been running one of the biggest plastic companies in the region, yet you're also an environmentalist. What's your position on recycling? Do you agree with those who say plastic should be banned altogether?
Absolutely not. I think my personal point is either extreme doesn't help the situation. There are those who totally disregard the environment and simply on the industrial aspect of it, and I don't think that's sustainable. Mm-hmm. And there are those who are to the other extreme that want to ban the plastic and go the other way. The whole, if you go back to the Rio Accord, the whole concept of sustainable development that came out of that is itself a bit of an oxymoron, because it talked about sustainable development, one with the other, not excluding the other. So there's always going to be economic development. It's to find a way to do it in a sustainable manner, which is where recycling comes in. Plastics, as much as a bad reputation as it has very often, has a lot of, don't laugh at me here, environmental benefits as well. If you weigh the full carbon footprint of certain plastics products against non-plastic equivalents, there are actually benefits to the plastic.
What are those benefits?
Cost of conversion. Sometimes people talk about using paper bags instead of plastic bags as one simple argument. Where does the plastic bag come from? What's the raw material? It's natural gas. Where does the paper bag come from? A tree. There's been some deforestation to create that bag. That's just one very simplistic example, but the argument goes on. When you look at environmental impact, they look at the full carbon footprint, which involves everything from transportation costs, energy conversion costs, etc. And in that holistic equation, there's a different outcome. I'm not saying plastics is good or plastics is bad. I'm just saying that it's neither or. It's a decision that has to be looked at in the bigger context.
And do you think, Christian, that it's economically viable for us to actually create a recycling plastics industry?
Absolutely. It is not just an opportunity, it's a must. We have to go after recycling of plastics. There are many different products that can be made out of the recycled plastics. Some of them I can use, yes. Some of them I can't. Some of them can be exported, and right now, just trying to get recycled plastics is difficult. There's such a demand for it. So what are we waiting on? It is an opportunity. We need to get out there. We need to get it going, and we need to get a proper collection system, proper sorting system. The rest is very easy because it's all mechanical.
So do you think that the government should step in here, or can private industry actually cope very well with that?
This must be government driven in the sense of the collection system. And it also has to be, it has to involve people such as the Green Fund or the funding from the Green Fund. This is so right a project to go. It's what we put in the Green Fund for, and this is what we should be getting out of it.